Hey, Shalom. Kal halalim la Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai. Okay, which means bless you, Yahweh, bless you, Yahweh Shai. Okay, Kal halalim la Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, meaning all praises, honor, glory, blessings, and power be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Bahasham means in the name, okay, and double honors to the men of the Lord, our teachers on this planet Earth, our teachers on this planet Earth, the men of the Lord, the men of great millstone. Double honors to them, the apostles, elder bishops, elder apostles, elder bishops. Okay, double honors to them that rule well. So, let me say it properly. Double honors to the apostles and elders and elder bishops of great millstone that rule well. And a hearty shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,001 third. May peace and blessings and the spirit of endurance be upon you and your households as we approach the end. Salaki, I got a little tongue tied this morning. I'm feeling a little extra drained. You know, you have those, Esau, these damn crackers, man, these Edomites, we don't know, the kind of chemicals and shit that they're pouring into the air, right? The food, okay? But excuse me, but the elect, okay, we got that comfort in Yahweh Bashem Shai, all right? And the Lord did say he's gonna, wear out the servants of the Lord. I mean, sorry, the Lord did say that the servants of the Lord will be worn out, okay? And hence the reason why His Majesty Yahweh Bashem Shai is shortening the days for the elect's sake, okay? I've got an image, I was looking for an image of a Jake, and this is highly spiritual, You see an image of a Jake here running through the wilderness. Looks like he's trying to get out of the city. It's just an image of I just typed in, I hate the term black, but how ESOL system works in it. I typed in black runner images, right? And, Jake got a full beard and all that. Jake's in shape. You can tell, he's got a sort of a confident look on his face, like, and spiritual as well. If you look at it, it's a narrow path. It's a straight gate, right? Okay. Boy, my mind is working in several different directions right now. I'm zooming in some scriptures before I forget them. All right. I'm just going to make a quick note. All right. Yeah. After you notice, sometimes, you might get a little forgetful. I am getting up in age anyway, but I'm still a young man though. You know what I mean? Just bear with me one second. I'm just going to get some scriptures lined up. Then I'm gonna go into as Elder Kazakia Allah would say, one of my favorite teachers of GMS Mississippi, okay, who was formerly with GMS Chicago, right? I love his videos, man. Blessings to that elder and all the elders, man. And he said a righteous rant. I don't think I can compare myself to our elders and that, but I'll try and do my level best in having a righteous rant. All right. Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. Okay, the saints, whatever your position is, if you do some kind of, if you're a help, if you are, you make videos, because everyone's not going to have the same position because we're one body, right? And excuse me, a body has various functions. Everybody cannot be an index finger. Everybody cannot be a pinky finger. All right. A body doesn't have 25 eyes, right? A human body. Okay. So hence the reason why everybody's got a specific position allotted to them. in this beautiful truth. Okay. But, you know, these damn devils are wearing out Jake. They're wearing out the world, but the rest of the world thinks that there's something physically wrong with them, or they're not getting enough sleep. But we know what's going on. Okay. And this is ultimately a test as well from Yahweh Bashim Yashai. You know, like in the movie Blood In, Blood Out. When I've used this analogy before. When is it milkweed? When milkweed is trying to get into the crew, right? And Spider comes into the alleyway outside where his is it Benjamin Bratt's stepfather has a garage, right? I think it's a mechanic. Well, yeah, and his other brother, his stepbrother. So, well, his brother, right? Had Jake's Got Talent, sprays up the cars and all that, and he says to him, slaps him across the head. Let me see the color inside you. You know, basically show some heart, show some strength, right? And like the last seconds of a fight or the last few seconds of a long, strenuous, stressful marathon or run, right? Because this whole punishment that we're going through is not a race. It is a race to a certain degree, but it's a marathon. Okay. And you got to keep yourself consistent, okay, in this truth. And that gives you the endurance to keep going. Because then the Halbashim Ashai is supping with you to give you that little push. All right. So you got to be consistent in this truth. Man, I'm losing my train of thought, but I'm gonna try and keep abreast of everything. All right. So you got to stay on track. All right. You got to know why you're doing what you're doing. Okay. And what the end result is. And this is the test from the Lord Yahweh Hashem Mashai to see your endurance. Everyone's hunky dory. Everyone's perfect at the beginning of a race, like a boxing match or MMA fight or boxing fight, And if you see the most strategic boxers, they wait to wear you out. They chuck a few in and they wait to wear you out and cover their head and face and body, right? And then once they worn you out, then they F you up afterwards. Okay? So what you got to do is pace yourself out. And then when you do get tired at the end and your arms are tired and everything, you got to still keep going. That shows you how much you really want this. Okay? So yeah, you're going to be feeling worn out. All right? Physically, you eat the herbs, you eat better food, you get rest, you exercise, you walk, you lift weights, you run, whatever your body can handle. You train martial arts, boxing, or you just hit the bag, whatever you got to do. Right? But spiritually, you got to prepare as well. Fasting, right? Eating the right foods. Okay? But most importantly, this is spiritual. Okay? And this is a narrow path, man. And this narrow path is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy thing, right? Straight gate. I'm just going to try and make a little sweetener here, as we say in the UK. All right. Matthew 7:13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Okay? Everybody can do wrong. Everybody can be, follow people that don't have any common sense. The sense isn't that common, is it? But the elect, whoever they are, have somewhat of common sense. They've changed their ways. They've withdrawn from this world. The elect right now are just waiting. It's like they're just waiting and waiting and waiting, and patiently waiting for the Lord's return. In the elect's mind, their mind is not about traveling or going abroad, even though the Lord Yahweh Shai has blessed them with a few quid, some money to do these things. But in their mind, they've withdrawn themselves from this world. Okay? They're just basically just, living out every single day, doing what they've got to do to keep abreast of everything, the basics, earning, prayer, spiritual work, daily bread, working out, taking care of your responsibilities. That's it. No extras. There's nothing wrong with, going out now and again, but no extras. They don't have it in their mind. Oh, I'm gonna go Hawaii or I'm gonna go Philippines or whatever for 3 weeks or some shit. All right, because in my mind, the last couple of months I've been thinking that you want to be stranded in another country when this shit goes down, especially if you don't speak the language. All right, because things are about to pop off. You can feel it in the spirit. Okay, and things are gonna get grimy out here. And so this is all a test. All right. At the end of a test, when you pass it, what happens? You get you get a certificate, you get a good grade, whatever, right? In this test, when you pass, what happens? The Lord's going to give you that crown of life, okay? All right. If you're blessed to be a part of the elect, the 144,000, that's a brakim. But if you're the 1/3, that's a brakim too, because you're still part of the elect. You're going to have eternal life, okay? There's a lot of things that come into your mind of how the world is going to be when Yahushua returns. Okay, our rulership. It's going to be beautiful. If you can imagine it, it's going to be greater than that, as one of our prophets have said. Okay, if you can imagine it, it'll be way greater than that. Okay. Okay, let's go to some. All right, if you feel tired, what do? You call upon the Lord, man. Okay, let's go to. What did the Lord say in Matthew 24:13? But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. You've got to go through all the motions. You've got to go through everything, man. All right. You got to go through the mental anguish. If the Lord ain't giving you a woman for a little while, you could be, horny as hell, right? Where you haven't been with a woman for a little while, a couple of months or whatever, 6 months or whatever, right? All these things are part of it, right? All right. You could be tired all the time. You could be sick to death of dealing with your regular things that you're dealing with every day. You might feel like Bill Murray being in Groundhog Day, you know, where everything is the same every day. But in the movie, he can switch it up because he knows what's going to happen. All right. But you're sick of this. But you got to understand. All right. Let's go to Matthew 24:13. I just quoted it. I want to read it properly. Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Okay. You got to endure. All right. In that movie, Groundhog Day, Bill Murray's just, he knows what's going to happen, so he can switch it up. But you're tired of this. But you got to understand, there's an expiration date to this kingdom, man. Job 14:5. All right, there are bounds that these damn devils cannot pass. All right, let's go there. All right. Salakia, man. Like I said, every time I make a video, I start coughing, man. It's Satan trying to irritate my throat, even though I've got coffee right next to me and some water and all that. Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his Salakia. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. All right. These damn devils cannot go past at a certain time, man. We are coming to that time. It's like I don't know what you guys have in America. It's been a while since I've been there, but in the UK we have like you buy a gallon of milk, or it's a gallon that you buy of milk, which usually has about 4 pints in it, right? And as it gets close to the end of that gallon or that drink or whatever, yeah, you can't refill that gallon of milk with water, can you? Say, yeah, I got a little bit more milk left. No, it's just going to be water diluted, or it's not going to taste like milk. So this world if you can notice it, it's diluted. It's got lost its savor, lost its flavor, lost its mirth. Mirth meaning just lots of laughter and happiness, so to speak. Lots of things going on. Excessive laughter. Yeah, you can see it. Now, if you're in your 40s or 50s, you remember how the world used to be. If you grew up in London, you grew up in New York or LA, whatever, Canada, whichever part of the world, right? I remember I was a young man 90s, man, things were popping. Women were attractive. The clubs were, popping, right? Clothes were decent. You could somewhat buy pretty much everything from one damn mall. You don't have to order shit from halfway around the world, you know? You're trying to find that 90s look, that classic look, all the clothes are weird and fagged out, everything's just harder to sort of acquire in terms of buying clothes, just everything generally. Music is shit, you know. The voices, or what's that scripture? Um, music, you know. Yeah, the daughters, Ecclesiastes. It's in Ecclesiastes. The daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay, meaning music is trash. All right. Now, if you compare the world how it was 30, 35 years ago, if you compare the world to how it was 30, 35 years ago and to it is now, I can compare it. All right. Okay, because I was in my 20s then. And I know that we are right at the motherfucking end, man. Those Gen Zs, man, this is all they know. Okay. A 30-year-old can somewhat remember how the early 2000s was. But if you're in your 40s or 50s, especially 50s or late 40s, you know how the world used to be. You know that we're at the end. We don't have long left, man. And Lord willing, all you hope for elect, pray that destruction, some kind of destruction happens after July the 4th. Okay? I'll tell you one thing, man. Good motivator for me. I love watching the movie Independence Day. I don't watch the whole thing all the time. I just watch the beginning. When the chariot comes up, bruv, in New York. Oof. I love that. Goosebumps, man. Goosebumps. I love that scene. Let's go to more scriptures on endurance, man. Yeah. Two more scriptures and we'll finish up, yeah? Isaiah 40:29. Let's go there, bro. Yeah, watch your brother Manatazak Benyamian as well, man. Or GMS San Francisco. He's the brother makes some beautiful, beautiful videos. The animation, that's him. That's that man. The Lord has given that brother beautiful talent, man. Beautiful, amazing. Isaiah 40:29. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increaseth strength. Okay. It's been a while since I've had a dream with regards to spiritual power. I had one where I was running and I could feel it while I was sleeping, this freaking increase of strength like the flash. And then in the same vision, I saw myself flying, like cruising in the sky. And there were people on rooftops and shit. And I live in an Israelite foreigner area with a lot of other nations too, a lot of brown people. And these people were on rooftops and shit, and they were like waving at me. And then, it cut out. It kind of made sense. And there's been some other ones as well, man. Okay. Flying, shooting through the roof of my home, but not nothing breaking though. Okay. And just flying with complete power and strength into the sky and the night sky. It's like a grey, cloudy, thundery night. And then when I woke up out of that dream, Spirit had me look at my phone right next to me, and it was 555, meaning power. Okay. And the Lord gives you these little visions and dreams, okay, to give you the motivation, a carrot. Like breadcrumbs for a trail? Those are the spiritual breadcrumbs, spiritual numbers, questions answered, spiritual questions answered by our prophets, visions and dreams. Because you believed, the Lord gives you these beautiful gifts to keep you going so you don't fall by the wayside. Okay? And that gives you power as well, man. When you're feeling faint and you see a spiritual number, or you have a dream or a vision, or your spiritual question is answered, you think, okay, what does this mean? What does that mean? And then lo and behold, one of the brothers make a video, and you look at it. When was it uploaded? And then you think to yourself, okay, when did I have that question? Oh yeah, it was at 10:44 this morning. And the question was answered at 5:55 in the afternoon or the evening. Things like that. Well, it doesn't have to be those specific times. It could be, oh yeah, I had that question yesterday, and now I woke up, and lo and behold, before I went to work, 6 in the morning, I checked YouTube, and there is one of the brothers uploaded the video. Man, just literally a couple of hours after I had that question, because I don't have that question. Remember, we're one body, right? So I'm sure there's other hopeful elect members that have that question too. All right. Isaiah 40:29 again. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Okay, the Lord is going to keep you going. Okay, the Lord is going to keep you going. All right, you don't worry about it, man. You cast your burdens. You have worries, man. Cast your burdens upon Yahweh Bashim Yashai. Loosely paraphrasing the scripture. Cast your burdens upon the Lord. He shall not suffer the righteous to be moved. You got a problem? You pray, man. You pray. You ask the Lord, Lord, please resolve the situation for me. Please help me, Lord. Please get me through the day. Please make this work out. Please, please, please. You and you're alone in a room, face the east. You don't know which way the east is. Use your phone. Get a compass. Okay, that way. That's the east. Yeah. You can guess it, but I use the compass. And then from there, you just do it. Obviously, you don't have to do that when you're out and about. You can pray in your mind when you're out and about, because we're not like these crazy Muslims, that chuck on a damn flying carpet mat on the rooftop of their car to start praying. We don't do that. The Lord said, okay, you pray in secret, He's going to reward you openly. Okay, that's the key. And the Lord puts you in these predicaments. Why? And He gives you these worries. Why? So you can call upon Him. The Lord's testing you. Okay, let me put this worry in his mind. Let me see if this Jake is going to pray. He's going to ask me for help. Are you going to ask the Lord for help? Huh? Or are you going to go crazy, do something stupid? You ask the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yashai, okay, for help. That's what you do. All right? You feel tired and faint, man, ask the Lord for help. Okay? Mm-hmm. Just bear with one last scripture, yeah? One second. Where are we? Okay. Let's go to Galatians 6 verse 9. All right. And then one more scripture out of that. We're approaching 23 minutes now, so Galatians 6 verse 9. And let us not be weary. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Okay. Keep going, man. Remember, the Lord said, he that endureth till the end, the same shall be saved. Okay. Once you finish the race, then you get the reward. If you fall by the wayside, everything that you did prior to that doesn't mean a damn thing. We've seen a lot of so-called prophets that fell by the wayside. Look at Deacon Hakar, man. What's his name? Hassad or Hakar, whatever their names are. Right? They're very knowledgeable, great speakers, studied, knew the scriptures initially until they went off. Right? But they're just a bunch of ninjas. It doesn't mean a damn thing. So you don't want to be like them. They fell for the temptations of this world. Okay. Here's one of my favorite scriptures. And we're going to wait upon the Lord. Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. The Lord will give that power to the elect. Every single elect member is not going to get that power on this side. Certain members have been chosen, okay, because they're going to be needed as the ground troops, okay? They're going to be needed when all hell breaks loose. They're going to be needed to protect other Israelites. They're going to be needed to protect their family members. They're going to be needed to delete the enemy. They're going to be needed in Isaiah 4 and 1 when 7 women, or which 7 means completion, will gravitate to one specific Jake man, right? And but you hope and pray that, okay, Lord, if the Lord don't give me that power, Lord willing, I'm next to a Jake that has it, man, because you're gonna need it. Yeah, I mean, if you're a martial artist or whatever, and you got a third dan black belt or whatever, that's cool, but that's not gonna mean a damn thing when some 7 foot Russian, who's been juiced to the gills, swole as fuck, been training since he was probably like 9, and he's like 25, 30 years old, right? And then on top of that, he's been amplified on the left hand side with Neuralinks and all that shit, and other tools and weaponry. Had his bones probably enhanced with some kind of metal alloy or whatever. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud what these damn devils have, because they've got these kind of tools, man. Okay, why do you think we're gonna need spiritual power on this side? On the level, like Superman, for example. But Superman ain't shit. We're gonna be better than that motherfucker. Okay, all right, okay. Why do you think we need that kind of power? Right? So all your small problems, man, all your worries, you feel tired, you cast your burdens upon the Lord. And once you do it, you do your prayer and you just leave it there. And you believe in your mind that it's going to happen. When you believe, you don't waver, you are solidified. Like I'll give you a perfect, Lord willing, Salakia, Lord, if, hopefully I'm saying the right thing. Okay. I'll give you an example. In the UK, we call this a promise. Now, if a woman says to you, come to my house at this, that, and the third, that means a promise, which means that you're going to get some box. It's a sure thing. Have you seen the movie with John Cusack from the 80s? Showing my age there again. Called The Sure Thing. All right. He traveled half the country because he knew he was going to get some box from a fine piece of what. Right? Same with your prayers. I'll use that analogy with a woman because, a woman is a big thing for most Jake men, right? Okay? It's a big thing. Stress relief indeed, right? So this way, when you pray, you just know that it's going to happen. Okay, Hebrews 11 verse 1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. All right, you can't be one of those believers when I see it, Jakes. Where the fuck is the faith? Where is the faith then? All right. The Lord said, you got faith as a grain of a mustard seed. You can move mountains, literally. Okay. So keep believing, keep praying in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. Okay, the Lord will give you the strength. All right. Isaiah 40:31 again. But they that wait upon the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. All right, I'm going to leave it there now. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yashai, Bashem Akakodash, Mwath Bababal, Kwam Yashrela. Shalom.